Okay, so welcome to algebra class. First thing I would like to say is that, I really look for, in this class, just one thing you gotta remember in terms of behavior, attitude. That's what I look for, okay? I'm sure I won't have much problem. But, I want good attitude from you. Like sometimes, I tell you to be quiet, and I sometimes, I may say something to you that, maybe it wasn't your fault, like I totally missed it or something. But don't get mad at that point, just say, oh, what do you mean, Mr. Huang, don't make a scene. Just talk to me afterwards, hey, Mr. Huang, this is what really happened. I go, okay, sorry, But, don't like make a scene and don't try to fight me or anything, So that's, also, if it was actually your fault, just be honest and say, I'm sorry, Mr. Huang, just say, let's just move on, I just want to just get things done and teach you, right, algebra and so forth. So that's one thing to remember, okay? Also be honest. I kind of talked about that. Please don't try to lie or like if you did something wrong, be honest. Just own up to it, okay? I'm pretty, pretty flexible. We'll deal with it. But I get really, upset when you try to lie. When I can see that you're totally like, trying to lie and so forth. But as long as you keep good attitude and be honest, you should be fine, okay? So please keep that in mind. All right. By the way, when we leave the class, I do this every time. By the way, when the bell rings, can you just leave? Does the bell dismiss? No, the bell does not dismiss you. I do. Okay. The way we do that is, I'm going to say after the bell rings, we're going to be doing start. You're going to sit up straight. T stands for, you guys. T is track. You track the speaker. A is actively listen, and then R is to respect and respond. That's what we'll be doing this throughout the whole year. But when we leave, I want you to sit up straight. You're gonna look at me, and when I'm gonna say, "Have a great day, guys," and you're gonna say, "Thank you, Mr. You're gonna say, "You too, Mr. Wang." Yeah, or you can say like that. So we're gonna do that, and that's when you leave. Does that make sense? Yeah. We're gonna practice that thing. That's how we do that. Okay. Next. Let's see if I have the right one. Okay. One most important thing you're gonna remember today is is my webpage, askmrh.com. Guess what H stands for? Hong. Yeah. Okay. So when you go there, it's got a whole bunch of information. Okay. I'm gonna actually put this sheet on my webpage too. So if you lose it or something, you go back to it. Take a look at it. You'll find a whole bunch of information, all the information you will need. Hopefully, I'm going to put all the stuff you need up there. You're going to have daily homework assignments up there, okay? You're going to have grade reports. You guys had this last year, right? All the math teachers had this last year. What is this? What is this grade report? Anybody know what that is? Yeah?
Where you can look at your grades and see if you're missing anything.
Exactly. It tells you all the grades, it tells you what you're missing. It also tells you what your overall grade is and all that stuff, right? So you know always what you're getting and so forth. So don't ask me, oh, Mr. what am I getting? Well, I'm going to say, go to the webpage and take a look at it. So please keep that in mind. So it's all there. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is a big jump from intro. This algebra class. This is because you're gonna have word problems throughout the whole book. Okay, there isn't a section where it doesn't have any word problem. We have 12 chapters. Okay, they all have word problems in them. Okay, so if we didn't have any word problems, it'd be like intro. Okay, of course we add some more stuff in it, but it'd be like intro. But because of the word problems, it makes it that much more interesting and challenging and more fun. Okay, and since this skill is, you have to really master the skill in the beginning. I've been teaching this for I think this is my 9th year. People kind of put it up, oh, it's gonna go away, this word problem. I'm just gonna kind of ignore this. Well, you're gonna suffer the whole year because you haven't really learned it in the beginning. Does that make sense? You really, 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 guys, have to learn how to do the word problems. We're gonna start with the easy ones first, okay? So we're gonna start some easy. So once you learn that skill of how to break down these word problems and kind of how to set it up, right, it'll be easy, okay? But if you don't learn that skill in the beginning, guess what? You're gonna suffer every single time when we go, right? And it's like I said, in every chapter you have word problems. So please keep that in mind, okay? Please, please, please take time and put effort, right, in terms of in learning how to do these word problems, how to set it up. Of course, we're going to go over all this, okay? Does that make sense, guys? Please follow direction as I'm telling you. It may seem, that's, Mr. Huang, why do we do it that way? It doesn't make any sense. Just follow, okay? I've been doing this many years, okay? So just trust me on that one. Just do that. Okay, now, okay, I already said this. You can check your homework online, right? How to study, you do your homework correctly, of course. You need to correct mistakes. Guys, when you do your homework and you get something wrong, is it good enough to just, put a little, with the red pen, by the way, you're supposed to do it when you correct your homework. With the red pen, you got it wrong, and put down the right answer, because I'll be giving you the answers in class, right? Is that good enough? No. Why not? How come that? Haven't you corrected your homework then? Isn't that good enough? What else do you need to do? What must you do? Yes, sir.
Show the work.
Yes, and if you got something wrong, what do you have to do? You gotta get it right. You gotta correct this, right? You gotta correct the mistake. That's where the learning occurs, right? A lot of people don't understand that part. I don't know why. People think that just by writing down the right answer is good enough. Well, that's not going to help you when I give you that similar question on the test, right? You need to go back and correct these mistakes. Of course, we have time to do that in class, but you need to do that on your own if we run out of time or something like that. Okay, does that make sense? You got to do that. Because in order for me to encourage you to do that, we do something called correction check. How many people have heard of correction check before? Not all of you. Okay, let me explain. Or can somebody explain to the class that have heard? I'll explain. Okay, so what this is too many times people do not go back and correct their mistakes. So in order to encourage you to do that, what I do is I randomly choose 5 questions from that whole chapter. Okay, and I say, okay, open up your homework. It's open notes. Okay, open up your homework. But it's close book. And I'm going to say, can you copy these questions, 5 questions from your homework for me? And you just turn that in. That's it. Now, that's the easiest thing you would do. Or it could be the hardest thing you do. Why? It'd be easiest if you what? Corrected your homework and did actually the homework, right? If you have the homework with you and so forth, right? If you did it, you corrected it, then you just have to copy it. That's all. Right? There's no thinking involved. Just copy. Now, why would this be the most difficult thing for some people? If you don't correct the mistakes, or if you didn't do the homework. Does that make sense? I do check your homework actually. I do go around and check and see if you tried all the homework and so forth. But I don't have time to really look through the whole thing and see if you corrected it and so forth. Right? It's your responsibility. Does that make sense? So we do this thing called correction check. So for example, when we study let's say we're in chapter 3. Right? And we're done with chapter 3, and you all did your homework. And I'm going to say, okay, tomorrow we're going to have our correction check, right? And I'm going to just choose 5 random questions. Okay? And then you just get copy it. That's it. If you did your work, by the way, do you have to have the correct work also? Is it okay to just answer, right answer? No. Obviously, I'm looking for whether or not you actually show work, right? And corrected it. Does that make sense? And if you happen to have that one right, it's easy. This correction check. If I give you 5 questions, it's worth 5 homework assignments. So each question is worth 1 homework assignment. It's a lot. So that's how much I want to emphasize. Correcting. Because guys, I'm telling you. And am I doing this to torture you guys? No. I'm trying to help you because, if you don't correct your mistake, you're not going to do well in this class. You know what I mean? That's not my intent. I want you to do well. That's my intent. Okay. So please keep that in mind. Any questions so far? All right. So this is the breakdown of your grades. 55%. That's a big chunk, isn't it? More than half of your grade comes from your test. Okay. So, and then 25% from quiz, 20% from your assignments, which includes homework, correction check, right? Because each of those questions are worth 1 homework assignment. And mistake chart and projects and so forth when we have time to do that. So I'm going to explain to you what a mistake chart is in a minute. But does anybody have any questions in terms of, right? So let's say you did all your assignments, but you really didn't do well on your test. Does that help you with your grade a lot? No. But I mean, if you did all your assignments correctly, you shouldn't, get that grade on your test. But so really, please, know when the test is. Please prepare for the test. Sometimes, I tell them the test on such date, and people come in and go, today's test. I'm like, yeah, you got to be prepared. Okay, so please know when the test is and so forth. Oh, let me do this one. So we take notes. Every day we come in, we do notes first, and then we go over homework after we take notes. Okay. Go over homework means I give you the answer to the even numbers of your homework assignments. How come I don't give you the odds? Well, oh, yes, sir. They're in the back of the book. I want you to be correcting as you're doing your homework, especially those odd ones. Okay? The answers are in the back of the book. Right? You all know that, right? Do you think it's a good idea to do all your homework and then go back and check all the odd ones? Or should you be, as you do your homework, should you be checking the odd ones? As you do them. Why? Why don't you just do the whole thing and go back? Yeah, yes?
Because then you have to go back and redo them
If you misunderstood something, right? It could be that you did the whole thing wrong, right? So you want to be checking these so that, as you're doing your homework, you get the idea, right? Any questions? What you did before. So please, it's your responsibility to check the odd ones, right, as you're doing your homework. And of course, I'm going to say have a great day, and you're going to say you too, Mr. Huang. All right. So you all know that we don't, because it's our math department policy, we don't send the quiz or test home. I wish I can, but some people made some bad decisions with them and so forth. So it just has to be that way, okay? So, but because of that, what if your parents wants to see what you did wrong, or what if you want to, see what you did wrong? Of course, I give it back to you in class, and you get to see what you did wrong. So because of this, we actually do something called a mistake chart, okay? What this is after the test or quiz is done, and then I give it back to you. You are to take out a sheet of paper and a pen and correct all your mistakes. Okay? So you copy down what you did wrong, because your parents want to see that too. And you want to kind of keep that as a record too. And then afterwards, you do all that first, and then I want you to copy all the mistakes first, okay? And then when you have a time at the end in class, you would correct those. If you don't have time in class, you would go home and correct those and bring it back. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's important that you actually copy all those mistakes first, because you may not have time to copy and do all the problems in class. Does that make sense? So copy all the problems you did wrong first, okay, just like how you did it, so you could see what you did wrong, and you can show it to your parents if they ask you. And I want you to correct those, and then keep that in your binder, so that you have a record of what you did wrong. And, it's a nice review too. Oh, this is what I used to make now, and how to do it. And if you still don't know it, then you need to find out how to do it correctly. Okay, does that make sense? You all understand what? Raise your hand if you understand what a mistake chart is. Okay, if you're not quite so sure, you have time to ask me questions. Good. Okay. And if you're kind of shy to ask me questions, please feel free to email me. I even have a phone number that you could text and leave a voicemail to. I don't get it to my cell phone. It's a thing where it sends me an email. Okay, so so I may not get it right away, but do that. If you want to talk to me, communicate. Please feel free to ask me questions, or if you're kind of shy to ask things. Extra points. People always ask me, can I get extra credit? We don't have any extra credits in this class, but we have something better. Kind of, because if you get a really bad grades on your test, maybe something happened, right? Sometimes you were really sick, and then you really bombed the test, okay? But there's a way to bring it up to 50%, so you're kind of back to where you were. Because if you're below 50, it's really hard to raise the whole grade up, right? So if you're below 50, you could raise it up to 50% by correcting all the mistakes, okay, on that test that you missed, and you show it to me, and you make you make a appointment with me so that I can check it and so forth. I'll raise it up to 50%. And this is only for tests, and this is only for tests that are below 50%. Does that make sense? That's one of the ways to get back on track. If you really, and I'm sure it won't happen to you, but if sometimes things happen, right? Okay, and of course grading still the same. So we have tests and quiz. So for the most part, we have test for each chapter and quiz for each chapter. Okay, there are some exceptions. Okay, we'll talk about that later. But it's actually the first test that we're going to have, chapter 1 test, is going to be combined with chapter 2 test also, because chapter 1 is really a review from intro. So I'm going to combine 1 and 2 together. Is that okay? But for the rest, it's basically a test for each chapter and a quiz for each chapter. So, okay. There may be 2 quizzes if the chapter is kind of long and if I see the need. Test. This is important. That you need to finish on time. We all have same amount of time to take tests. Okay. To be fair to everybody, we're gonna start at the same time, end at the same time. No one gets extra time to work on tests and so forth. Okay, so do you think it's a good idea to spend 20 minutes in one problem? No, right? You do all the ones you know how to do first, okay? Then go back to the ones that you're not so sure of, okay? Because we all get the same amount of time to do these tests. Please keep that in mind. Okay. Of course, you're gonna have homework every day, including Friday. You gotta show work as shown in class. Many times I do all these notes, we take all these notes, and when I get your homework back, it looks totally not like what I did in class. You know what I mean? And the reason why I'm taking time to do all these problems in class and showing you, how to do it is because I want you to do the same way. Does that make sense? Like I said, I've taught this many years, guys. Some of this work may seem kind of long and so forth, but I'm trying to do it so that you guys don't make a mistake and get the bad grades on it. Does that make sense? I'm trying to help you here. So please keep that in mind. I'm not trying to make you do more work and suffer. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help you so that you don't make silly mistakes. Okay. So now sometimes people really want to do it a different way because this is how they learned it, right? Or if their parents, or your brothers and sisters taught them this way, and then you guys really understand. As long as it's mathematically correct and I can see your work, okay, I'm fine with that, okay. But please check with me first if you're gonna do that way. Does that make sense? Okay, but for the most part, I think just following what I'm doing would be good, okay? All right. Okay, so if you have to turn in a late assignment, I do take it. But once you don't do your homework or if you miss something, it's really hard to do 2 or 3 nights of homework in one day, isn't it? So you really want, especially algebra, we're gonna have homework every day. Once it piles up, it's gonna get piled up. It's gonna get really, really hard for you to make up. So just do the homework on time. But if you have to miss, if you miss somehow, I will take it for 50% of what you normally get. But you have to turn it in a timely manner. You cannot turn it in 3 weeks after, you know what I mean, or a month after. The latest time you can turn it in is right before that chapter test. So for example, if you're on chapter 3, right, and we took the test, and you show me chapter 3 homework, a day or 3 days after, I'm not going to take it. Does that make sense? So if you're going to turn in a missing or late homework assignment, you must, of course, do it correctly and complete it, and turn it in before that chapter test is done. Does that make sense, guys? Is that okay? Because I don't want to. And homework is really to help you with the test. If you give it to me after the test, what's the point? Right? So give it to me before. Okay. Makeup assignment, just talk to me. If you're absent a day, you get an extra day to do it. If you're absent 3 days, you get 3 days to do it, and so forth. Yeah, that's how that works. Hall passes, you get 2 per semester. Okay, not per quarter. Okay, it's per semester. It says right here, I think in the back. Okay, please keep that in mind. And I actually mark it on my computer so that I don't give you anything. Some teachers give out the hall passes. I don't give you anything. When you go, I just mark it, and I tell you have 1 left or you have nothing left or something. Okay, so please use it wisely. The question that I get asked a lot: what's my grade? Guess what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to say, go to the website. It's, all the information are there, even your grades, right? I explained that. So it's there. You're going to put your last name and student ID for your password. Did you guys do this last year also? Yeah. So let me just show it to you, just in case some of you. So let's go to a. Oops. Here. Okay. So. So when you type in askmrh.com, this is what you will see, right? And so on the top left here, or on the left side here, there are 2 places you could click. Click grade reports, and you click here for grade reports. Click there, and you will see this, okay? And you're gonna type in your last name, and again, your password is your student ID. I already set it up. So I want you to go home and do this. One of your homework assignment today is go here, log in, okay, and it'll show up your grade right now. You'll print that out and have you and your parents sign this. Does that make sense? The reason is because so often, even though I tell you this in the beginning of the year, like parents do not know that this is on the web, so they get surprised, when they get your report. When you get your report card, they're like, what happened, But well, it's been on the web page this whole time. So please make sure that your parents and you know how to get to this and know how to check the grade. Is that okay? So that's what I'm going to have you bring tomorrow. Fill out an information sheet. Okay, as well as print this sheet and have your parents and you sign this. Is that okay? So when you come, when your parents go, I don't know how to get there. Well, I'm going to show them. Here, remember you signed this. This is how you. That's how that works. Okay, so I mainly want your parents to know how to get to it. Okay, that's how you get to that. Next, again, you could. So actually, if you go to my webpage. If you click right here, algebra homework, if you click this, say it shows your homework for today. Does that make sense? Sometimes, because I have to do this every day, sometimes I forget to do this. If I ever do forget, can you guys send me an email, that number, or text me? Mr. Huang, can you please update the homework or something? Because I do forget to do that. So really, you should write it in class, okay? The homework. Just kind of, use this as sort of a backup thing. Is that okay? And also have someone else's phone number in this class, so that we'll give you time to do that at the end, so that you could call them. Hey, I forgot to write it down or something. So don't say, oh, Mr. Huang, I didn't know what the homework was. It's going to be on the web, or you could call your friends. Okay, please keep that in mind. Okay. All my information also is on the web page. The number to call, email address, and all that stuff. Another question that I get asked a lot is, are the tests graded? And I'm going to tell you, when it's graded because it'll either be on the web page, right? Because once I'm done grading, it'll be on the web page. Okay, so don't ask me, is it graded? Well, check the web page. Okay? And the day that I will hand it back to you when it's ready, and you will know when it's ready to hand it back. You will see them on my hands. That's when you know. Okay, so don't ask me when is it due. It'll be ready when you would know, because that's the day I would have it on my hands, and it'll be I'll be handing it to you. Okay. So some of the things you will need today, every day, you're gonna need your tutoring binder with 3 dividers. Notes, homework, and mistake charts. By the way, is it a good idea to, let's say that we're in chapter 3 and we took our test and I have checked your homework. Is it a good idea to leave all those homework at home?
No.
Why not? I checked it. We even took a test on it. Why is it not a good idea? You're right. Why not? Anybody? Yeah? Oh. Yes, sir. Homework check? What do you mean? Oh, right. The correction check. Yeah. I haven't done the correction check. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you have to have your homework with you. Like it's the day of the correction check, and if you don't have your homework with you, guess what? You're going to get 0. Because how are you going to copy those random questions that I'm going to ask you? You know what I mean? So please, please, please do not leave your homework at home. Right? Especially for that if we haven't taken the correction check. Now what if I check the homework, we took the test, and we actually did the correction check on that? Do you think you should keep all those homework, like 12 chapter worth of homework, with you every day? No, I want you to keep the homework of the chapter that we're studying only, right? Only after we took a test, did a correction check, and I corrected homework. Does that make sense? So once I've done all those 3 things, I checked your homework, I did the correction check, and we took a test, then you should leave those chapter at home. right? The homework of that chapter. Because I don't want you to be carrying all this bunch of homework assignments. By the way, do you think it's a good idea to just dump them after all that? No, because sometimes, God forbid, like if something goes wrong with my data, I get a virus or something. If it gets wiped, if it gets messed up, I may want to see that homework again. Does that make sense? So it's good. You should just keep it until the end of the whole year. You know what I mean? Just in case. And also, I can make a mistake. Like when I check your homework, what if I mark yours missing when you actually had it then, right? And you could say, oh, Mr. Wang, you remember you checked this one, and you could show it to them. Does that make sense? So please keep that, okay? Don't throw it away. All right. Next. Yeah, so this is how when you don't throw them away, keep them, keep them for that whole section. You don't have to keep all the homework, just for that, chapter. Okay? You're gonna need some line paper and so forth. Okay. Oh, please use mechanical pencils to do your homework and so forth. I don't have pencil sharpener because I don't want people to get up and make loud noise while we're doing something. You know what I mean? So that's kind of distracting. So use mechanical pencil with lead and eraser. If you really, really, really like to use pencil, then bring one of those portable ones, small ones, if you want to use it. But I think it works fine with mechanical pencil, and I think it's cheaper in the long run anyway. Yeah, that's what I just talked about. Oh, I need you to bring a red pen to correct your homework. Okay, so every time you correct your homework, if you got something wrong, mark it wrong. Okay, and then do your correction with red pen. Does that make sense? One of the reasons is because, anybody know why? Why don't we just erase it or just use pencil to redo the problem? Yeah.
So that you know if you got it wrong.
Yeah, so you know which one you got wrong, and when you study for the test, you know which sort of problems you were kind of weak in. You know what I mean? So it helps you. You may not need this every day, but I'll tell you when you will need it. Okay, so you could bring a ruler, graph paper, calculator. And that's all I have here. Okay, any questions? Did I miss anything? Or as we go along, we'll talk more. But I just wanted to show you. I know that it was kind of fast, but if you have any question on this, we could of course go over it. Are we good? Okay. Good. Oh, also, I have a bunch of videos online. I don't know if you noticed. If you go to my webpage, let me show it to you. These are videos that I actually, here, if you click math video lessons, okay, if you click this, it's on I have a YouTube channel, by the way, and I'm really, look, I have 54 subscribers. Isn't that great? Okay, so if you go to my videos, and you could, I have like the whole year worth of algebra class in here. I'm missing some of them, but I have whole year worth of it. So you know what some people like to do is, before they come in, and we go by sections and so forth, they actually watch the video and then come prepared. That really helps them. So you could do that if you like too. Okay, so if you have, if you have time, yes sir.
Do you have a link of it on your website? Or?
Yeah. What do you mean? Oh yeah, it's on my webpage, the link. But it's really easy. It's youtube.com/ guess what my username is?
Ask Mr.
Ask Mr. So if you type Ask Mr., everything's Ask Mr. Okay. So yeah, I got my YouTube channel. You could watch it. Come prepared. And if you don't get something, guess what? Go home and watch it again. Okay. That's how you could. So that's kind of cool to be able to. And you don't have to watch my video. There are a whole bunch of other YouTube videos that if you get some, if you're stuck on something, right? Just don't always look for Justin Bieber stuff. Just you could do all the other ones, right? You could look for math videos. There are a whole bunch of them, and I'm sure there are a whole many other teachers that are much better at explaining, right? It's the same thing, same topic than me. Okay, so feel free to really search for these. But I have it up there for you. I'm missing a few of them. I'm gonna try to make those too, but I have them up there. Okay. Okay. It's good.